Today we have the privilege to talk to the voice actor most famously known for the voice of Big the Cat. Mr. Jon St. John is with us.
I'm here.
How are you doing today, John?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Doing great.
Good.
Just amid this crisis.
One pandemic at a time, baby.
We're really grateful that you accepted our invitation, John.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
We want to know, how did you get into the voice acting gig? You probably answered this question a lot before, but might as well go over it again one more time.
Means I have a great answer because it's well rehearsed. Okay, so I've been a voice. I've actually been in voice acting now for 45 years.
Wow.
Because at 14 years old, I became a disc jockey on a radio station in Eastern North Carolina. And I became a production director shortly after that, the guy who makes all the commercials and has to do all the different voices. So yeah, I've been at it for a long time. It started with a radio career. And when I moved out here to San Diego back in the early 90s, I met up with a casting director, one of the top casting directors at that time, Lonnie Manella, who was in my studio to record an auto dealer commercial. But anyway, Lonnie comes into my studio to record this ad, and I'm setting up her microphone, and she's doing wacky voices. So I did wacky voices back at her, and she asked me, would you be interested in acting in video games? And mind you, this is 1995, I think. And I said, what? Acting in video games? Yeah, okay, why not? Never heard of it. Didn't know it was a thing. And among the first things I was offered was an audition for Duke Nukem, and I landed it, and that's where it all started.
After Duke Nukem, we can hear your voice in many games, including Twisted Metal 4, Guild Wars 2, and Dota 2. Your most recent role, however, is Postal Dude in Postal 4. Is your take on the Postal Dude based in any way on the original voice by Rick Hunter?
No, not at all. When they had me audition for it, they said they played me the file that goes, here's the original Postal Dude. And I went, wow, that's what I sounded like when I was a disc jockey in the 80s. I mean, it was so kind of, pukey with the delivery. And I went, do you want me to do that? And they said, yeah, do something like that. And they did it. And they said, how do you feel about that? And I said, it's okay. It's not the way I do it. They said, how would you do it? And I said, well, snarky and, guy sarcastic little shit. And they went, well, who's that remind you of? I said, me. They said, well, do it in your voice then. And so Postal Dude sounds exactly like this, man. I didn't change a thing. It's just me being me and being a snarky little fuck. And it worked out pretty well from what I hear so far. People seem to like it and say it matches.
I love it.
Crap. Damn it, champ. I thought you were guarding the car. Figures.
Have you finished recording for Postal 4, or will you record more when more content comes out?
Oh, yeah. As long as they want to keep me, I'll keep doing the Postal Dude voice. I think it's an outrageous role, and I am kind of known for some outrageous things. I think it fits my persona. I think it's a character that I should stick with. Because you know what? He's not a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's just kind of a jerk trying to survive, right?
Like the rest of us.
Just the average Joe.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel right now. I'm just another jerk trying to survive, staying home.
You seem to enjoy playing that character, so I'm curious, what's your least favorite character to voice?
Big the Cat. Did I take too long to answer that?
Oh, no,
I'm kidding.
I don't know.
I'm kidding. I don't dislike voicing it. What I dislike is the voice I did for Big the Cat. And that's probably why Sega, in their infinite wisdom, replaced me with Kyle Hebert before they killed the character off. Or Kyle Hebert killed the character off. I mean, either way, I'm not to blame. I'm not taking any responsibility for it. Let me give you the story of Big the Cat. I got a call from Lonnie Manella, who cast me as Duke Nukem again. And she said, we're going to do a Sonic the Hedgehog game, and I want you in it. I went, okay, cool. What part? She goes, don't worry. Just show up at the studio on Saturday in Kearny Mason, and I'll let you know. And I'm like, wow. Going into a game blind without auditioning for it, that's really unusual. It must be a small or simple part, I figured. So I show up at the studio, and there's all the other voice actors in there, including a couple of friends of mine who I recommended for the game. And Lonnie calls me into the booth before we're to record, and she said, okay, here's what you're going to be playing. She shows me a picture of Big the Cat, and I went, what the fuck is that? She said, that's Big the Cat. I said, definitely big. I guess it is a cat. He's carrying a fishing pole. It's a little weird. She goes, okay, here's the deal. He's a big, dumb cat. So a dumb voice.
I mean, I could do something dumb kind of like this.
And she said, yeah, that's perfect. No worries. I went, well, wait a minute. No, I'm just kidding. She goes, no, get in the booth right now. And the director from Tokyo, directors from Japan are on the line.
I mean, I don't think they're going to want me to do the voice like this, Big the Cat like this.
And they said, oh, yes, we like that. That's good. Oh, shit. You know, but as it turns out, I guess gamers didn't mind the Big the Cat voice. I'm the only one that ever bothered because I sound stupid doing it.
Oh, man. Where could that Pollywog pal be anyway?
You mentioned Lonnie Manella. She was also involved in Rad Rodgers. Do you have any anecdotes surrounding that game?
Not a whole lot about the development. 3D Realms brought me in on that, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a really, really cute game. Look how colorful this is. It's a side scroller, and I went, wow, it's beautifully animated. It's adorable. Kids are going to love this. And then I see a cutscene they put together with me and Lonnie, and I didn't understand why my character was going,
Is that a wooden pipe she's smoking?
is she smoking a wooden pipe?
Well, it's my ex-husband, for fuck's sake.
Not knowing the wooden pipe, that the elder tree played by Lonnie, what she was smoking were remnants of her dead husband that turned into a pipe that she's smoking. So she's still sucking him, apparently. But so the elder tree in Lonnie, when Lonnie does the voice for the elder tree, goes, oh, for fuck's sake, I don't have time for this shit. I went, whoa, what? Did I hear that right? In this cute little game, Rad Rodgers, she's saying that shit? And then as it turns out, I get the rest of my script, and I was surprised at the dialogue I was given, too. It was pretty racy, considering how cute and adorable the game is. Lonnie and I still work together quite a bit. We occasionally now do new content for Star Trek Online, and that's a lot of fun. So I get to work with her still, and she directs this one, which I really enjoy Lonnie's direction, because she and I have known each other for so long that I just get it. When she tells me what she wants, I know exactly what to do.
Back to your preferences. What's your favorite character to voice?
Gotta be Duke. It's the easiest one. Right now, you can tell my voice is really rough. Too much partying, maybe, in this time of being stuck indoors. So typically, Duke is the easiest voice for me to do. It's in my natural range. All I have to do is talk like this. But right now, you can hear that I'm really rough, sandy voiced, smooth and airy. Ooh, I sound like an old man right now because it's worn out. That's all.
Aside from Duke Nukem, is there a recent character that came close to that enjoyment?
Postal Dude was too easy because it was just me delivering funny fucking lines. I mean, I really enjoyed doing them.
Yeah.
But it was just me speaking the script, basically. I love the part of Dusty in Rad Rodgers because I like that obnoxious New York voice I was doing in it, right? So yeah, I would say Dusty in the Rad Rodgers game. That was the most fun in the last few years.
All right.
All right.
It was a fun role.
It was a fun
He
game.
was a bad influence on children, which I was as Duke Nukem back in the day. So kind of reliving that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Got to set those parental controls.
Right.
What's next for Duke? Do you think he still has a future with Macho Man characters like him being phased out in the media?
There's no mention of Duke because Duke's not in anything anymore. I mean, they inserted him. They inserted him into a few games a few years back. Remember Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition?
Yeah, I
And even
remember
Rad
Bulletstorm.
Rodgers, you can play as Duke Nukem in Rad Rodgers, believe it or not. He was inserted into several games trying to keep the franchise alive. But what I'm told from the top, and I know I can say this, not being under an NDA, is that Gearbox took such a hit from Duke Nukem Forever. It was panned so bad by everybody. Everybody hated it, it seemed, because it wasn't the game they wanted it to be. Right. And sure, you're going to write shit and talk shit about a game that isn't what you want it to be after, 12 years of waiting and then all the hype behind it. Right. If you're let down, sure, you're going to really vent. So what I'm told from the top is that they cannot have a repeat of that or it will kill Duke Nukem forever.
Ooh.
So they want to be sure that they have the best writing, the best game they can have, the best game engine, and they will develop one. They're not going to let it die. They will do something Duke down the road, but it has to be right or they're not going to, put their stamp on it. It's as simple as that. Who knows? It could be another 3 to 5 years before we see anything. But if you got to wait that many years for it to be right this time, I think it's worth the wait. And the whole deal about him being misogynistic and hearing this Me Too time is not an issue. That's all about writing as well. And it's about giving him a sidekick or a family member, somebody. I shouldn't say anymore.
So what's happening with the Duke Nukem movie?
If there's going to be a movie, it's owned by Gearbox.
Yeah.
So if a movie is to be made, they will make a deal with somebody. They had a deal for a short while there with Paramount and Platinum Dunes, and Michael Bay as director, and Jon St to star as Duke Nukem, which would be bitchin' because he's got the look, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But something in that deal was not right. I think, the old stories here about Hollywood wanted to take over, take control of it and do it their way, and probably make it another cheesy John Cena movie. Because come on, he's done some kiddie movies now that are just my opinion. I'd rather see him be ballsy, not. If they do make a movie, a Duke Nukem movie, clearly it can't be too racy or, well, no, it can be. Deadpool was pretty racy.
Yeah.
It could just be like
Who
pandering
knows?
to a niche audience.
Would you personally take a role in a big Hollywood production such as doing voices?
Oh God, I'd be thrilled to be in any of them. Breaking that nut open is pretty tough as a voice actor. Hell, I've been trying for 20 years to get into a cartoon, and I haven't done that successfully yet. It's hard. It's a hard nut to crack unless you're rubbing elbows with all the right people, which I could be doing if I'd moved back to Los Angeles. But I cannot stand living in LA. As a matter of fact, I lived there for 2.5 years and developed adult onset asthma at the age of 40 when I lived in LA because the air was so dirty, So if I lived up there and rubbed elbows with all the right people and I was in all the right studios, meeting the directors and producers for these things, I could probably end up getting a movie role, a small part, or voiceovers in films or a cartoon. But quality of life is a little more important to me. I live just north of San Diego. So I can be in LA for sessions within 2 hours, but I don't have to live there and breathe the brown air. So any jobs I can record from home, I'm happy to do. But, Hollywood doesn't work that way. If you're going to be involved in something up there, you got to go to their studio and record.
Do you have any future projects or promos that you'd like to share?
What can I talk about? Hold on just a second. Let me see if I can find the proper virtual background for what I'd like to talk about. This one will work. Let's see. I'd like to talk about King Kong Cruise.
Oh, yes.
Are you
I heard
familiar?
that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so after years of being a guest at conventions around the world, I decided that the next thing I want to do is have my own convention with voice actor guests exclusively. But I didn't want to do a typical land-based con because they're everywhere. So I decided to do a different model and do it on a cruise ship and have the guest voice actors participate in adventures with the fans. So, for instance, we'll go kayaking or snorkeling together, rock climbing. There's all kinds of things to do on the ship and a lot of things to do on shore. So the guests who come along on my cruises, they participate with the fans at King Kong Cruise. Last year, we went to Cozumel, Mexico from Houston. The year before that, we went Miami to the Bahamas. And next March, we go Orlando, Florida to the Bahamas. And I've got Richard Epcar, the Joker, is a guest. I've got DC Douglas as a guest. I also have Wes Johnson returning because his Voice-A-Palooza panel is becoming kind of a staple at our con. We have panels every night on board the ship as well as other entertainment. And so that's what I really wanted to talk about was come with me to the Bahamas. Oh, man, feel the breeze of the islands. Imagine being down in the Bahamas where it's 85 and sunny on a cruise ship with all those chicks in bikinis and all that alcohol being poured down their throats. Consider that for your next vacation. You can find us at kingkongcruise.com.
I'm pretty sure the Duke approves.
Duke approves.
Oh, I approve, baby. Damn right. Hail to the king. Hail to the cruise, baby.
Thanks for popping by, John. We really love you.
It's great having you.
Okay.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.